Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lied.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't print on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed, begging the generations remember our story.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hold on, let me get that right. Peace and blessings. Hold on, not that. All right, there we go. I hope all is well with each and every single one of you this morning, Thursday, brisk. Tomorrow, Friday, coming into a weekend. If you are still here, that means that the Lord still showed favor to us. I'm glad to be with you guys. Shout out to my poets, my writers. If I'm a little, it's because I expected a little better from these adults, but unfortunately, I'm not really surprised at what I'm seeing here. I got Sydney in the building. I'll bring her up here in a second. I got a couple clips that I'm going to play, and I want your opinions. I want to know if we are seeing the same things here. One video I'm going to have to pull from Instagram. This one I already got on cue, but in this one of the parents involved in this situation went to social media like most of us do now in 2025. And she came up here to give to me, a half-hearted apology. I don't even see it as an apology, to be honest with you. Let me bring Sid up here real quick. Hold up.
Hello.
Good morning. I don't know. What's the word? What's the word? How you feeling?
I'm good. I don't know what my hair's doing, but it just wants to give me ears, I guess. Doing pretty good. Tired this morning, but my kids are still asleep, so that's a good thing. I had a dream that I was downtown and there was a tornado, and I was just like yelling at people to get away from windows, and we went into this like giant bathroom and I saved people. but the tornado didn't even hit us. It like lifted, but that was kind of interesting. That was fun since, I like natural disasters, but thank God that wasn't an actual thing and nobody actually got hurt. So other than that, doing pretty good. I'm glad it's Thursday. Also, I like your hat.
Appreciate it. I had to pull it out for today specifically. Unfortunately, somebody did get hurt, and this woman and her child. You remember I did a live on this the other day. A group of kids assaulted and put this woman in the hospital. I followed up yesterday with an update on that. The people of Chicago, they saw what happened. They were outraged. And not only did they put her in a new home, they got her a new vehicle and they got her out of that school. So that part I thought was awesome. You think everybody is hateful and there's no unity anymore in the community. And then when you see something like that, it gives you more hope that you still have some pretty decent folks out here. The outrage, that the mere anger that is being spewed all over is, you can't deny it. It shows up everywhere. Did you get a chance to see any of it since this? No. Yeah.
I just saw that post you made where they got her at the house in the car and did like the GoFundMe and stuff. That's the only thing I've seen so far.
Well, found out that that woman has sickle cell, and I don't remember how far along in her pregnancy she was, but she had been going through that issue with the bullying and with the school for, she said, about 2 or 3 years. She had already made multiple complaints. Nobody did anything about it. And this is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to play this first clip. This is the actual child that swung on the mom first. And yeah. Let me see.
We've all seen the video. Everybody's been sharing it. The public outcry is definitely there, and we're all on the same accord that it was. We want. I think more so than anything, we want everybody to understand that this is a child. All of them children that was in that video was children. Some of them, not all of them, may have families, but this baby here, she has a family that cares, that loves her, that has held her accountable. She understands what is going on, and I don't expect her to speak. We do not expect her to speak as we are going to speak because she's a child. What grade are you in, Kamira?
8th.
She's in 8th grade.
What grades do you get? A's and B's, and I was homecoming queen. I'm the captain of the cheerleading team. Person.
You will know that this baby, as well as all the other babies that's in that video, are very much our future. So if we laughing at them, we laughing at ourselves. So we want to make sure that we check that and that we be present, and that those people that are not on the ground, those people that are scared of our young kids, that we get out here and we touch them, that we let them know that we hear, that we got something to say, that we care about them, that they have more resources than they know, and that we are available to them. I think everybody, we've all seen the video. Everybody's been sharing it. The public outcry is definitely there.
Dowry, man. So you got a school who was extremely negligent. Shocker. We've already been down this road before. And then you have this video, and then I have another one that's going to come up on my screen in a second, where you have another parent, a guy this time, that these videos just seem phony as hell. They come off unauthentic. They come off like you just want to go viral. You want attention. You want clicks and likes at the expense of putting your kids in harm's way. I don't see a lot of, specifically in this video, a lot of accountability whatsoever for what happened. And the reason why I played this video first specifically is because the daughter in this video is she's holding back a laugh. She's like really trying her best not to smile, but you can tell that she finds this humorous, and that pissed off a lot of people too. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, from this to the video that I showed the other day.
I definitely noticed the same thing, and to me it almost had like a smug type feel to it, where she was listing off her accomplishments, like, oh, I have A's and B's, I'm this cheerleader squad team leader, I'm whatever, valedictorian, or whatever, the other, homecoming queen and stuff like that. And just the chuckle that she gave made it seem like she wasn't actually guilty for what she did, that she still thought she was better than other people and better than everyone else in that situation. And as you said, it was distasteful watching, I'm assuming that's her mother, putting her daughter up on social media and saying, like, literally the only thing she said is like, oh yeah, she's accountable for her actions and whatever. But it was all about showcasing who her daughter was and how amazing that she was and all the things that she's accomplished and stuff like that. I'm like, can you imagine if your child actually like murdered somebody, and then you just go on social media and they're like, yeah, I know they took somebody's life, but I mean, they have straight A's and they're the head of this one team and they have lots of friends and they're actually really nice. Like, are you really that detached from what they did that you're just gonna brag on them on social media for views? And obviously, because this is the mother doing it, like, she's in the video too, and she's showing her daughter hiding behind her hands. This is for the mother just as much as she's doing it for her kid. Where, like, if I was a parent and I found out my child was involved in attacking another person, they wouldn't see a phone, they wouldn't go outside, they wouldn't see their friends for a long time. They would be doing my version of community service. They would be going and doing a formal apology to that mother, that child, and do, like, I would ask the mother, like, what do you need? We're going to help you. Like, that was absolutely inappropriate. My child is, I would make sure they knew what they did was wrong. And I would never be putting this on social media. Like, that is so disgusting to know that your child assaulted a woman, a child, a baby, an unborn baby, and to just be up there like, oh yeah, we're accountable, and forgot exactly how she worded it, but like whatever our children does, like it's our fault kind of deal. Like it's not everyone's fault, it's your fault. It's how you raised your child. It's the morals that you didn't instill in your child. It's the fact that you made your child think that their accomplishments are better than their actions. It's just disgusting that a mother could showcase her child that way on social media after doing that type of behavior. It's really, really the same energy as a parent that helps their child cover up for a crime. And I just cannot see how that could be positive in any other way.
Yeah, that was all for show as far as I'm concerned. I didn't hear an apology. All I heard was her trying to minimize all of it, period. What it sounded like to me was don't be mad at the kids. Kids will be kids. What are you talking about? Kids will be kids. No. There to some extent, yes, but that right there, no. You picked that up from somewhere. And the fact that what I hear is this woman is saying for 2 to 3 years, she has already had issues with this particular situation. This woman is saying they were waiting for me and my child. They've been going through this and dealing with this for a while. Nothing was done. And for the record, your child having A's and B's don't mean nothing. Because at the end of the day, if they are choosing to associate themselves with children who are mischievous and participating in those activities, then they are just as guilty as they are, no matter if they get good grades or not. Jeffrey Dahmer was a smart guy. What does that mean? There's a lot of guys in prison that had a nice academia upbringing or academic upbringing, whatever you want to phrase it. They still ended up in prison or harming someone for something. Both of them seem like that was staged. I don't know why you went to social media with this. That should not have been one of your priorities at all. This should have gone straight to the parents, to the police department, to the principal. This right here, I don't know. I can't accept this as an apology. This is not an apology. This is you basically saying, and this I was trying to find it. I'm gonna keep looking for it because it was a message within that where this particular woman says, I don't give what y'all think, and y'all can kiss my ass, and y'all can do this. Y'all don't know me. You don't know my kid. You don't know this. That was basically her form of an apology. They're like, what? Yeah, you're definitely one of those that was just like your kid. I'm gonna play this other clip real quick. It was from the guy who was trying to give his apology as well. Hold up, let me bring this up here.
Come on here and apologize to you guys. 1 second. Second, please. 1 second. Let me see. Is I'm adding him? Antoine, Antoine, please. Antoine, take the mask off. I can't. Antoine, take the mask off. I can't. Antoine, don't. You got on this damn. You. Antoine, please. This is a serious moment. Take off the damn mask. Nah, man, I'm hurt. Antoine, how they gonna think we sincere if you up here playing with these people in their face, Antoine? Man, I've been crying all day, man. My eyes watery right now, man. I'm hurt. Antoine, don't get on here and act a damn. But I want my child to come on here and apologize to this woman, apologize to this city, apologize to this world, to this country for disrespecting me. He not only did he disrespect me, he disrespected his mother, my mom's, his grandmother.
Does that sound like somebody who is sincere? Does that sound like a parent who disciplined their son? Does that sound like a parent who gets respect from his kid? Does that sound like someone who has any type of empathy whatsoever? You just got two videos from two different parents. Your kid got on a whole mask. The other girl covering up her face, not trying to laugh. You talking about you got disrespected. Right. You can tell who's friends with their kids and who's not. You're definitely a friend to your kid. Probably smoke with them and all that. The mom, she probably is the type to have different people in and out of the house. This right here is disgusting to me. What did you see here? I'm about to go find this other one that proved my point. These parents don't care about none of this shit. Hold up.
Just one extra comment from the other video. The fact that she was bragging about A's and B's and stuff. I was thinking in my head, like, well, with the type of behavior that her daughter is showing, I wouldn't be surprised at all if some of those were achieved by cheating or through other means, like having other people do her work for her, copying off other people. And also, I know how schools are these days. In general, even some of the best schools are easy as hell. Like, they don't push kids at all. And so that to me is not even that big of an accomplishment. And then also the homecoming queen thing. I'm like, okay, so she's popular. That's an achievement. Good for her. I'm like, she also achieved harassing somebody and assaulting somebody and injuring people. I'm like, I don't understand how you see that as an accomplishment. But with this kid, I sensed a tiny bit more remorse just from the dad, but my whole issue with him, not only like, I can already imagine what my husband's response would have been if we were trying to get our kid to publicly apologize, which again, why are you doing it on social media? Why aren't you going to her specifically, to the son specifically, to stand in front of them in person and apologize? Like, doing it on social media is the most detached way possible you could apologize to somebody. Like, imagine if you broke up with your partner and you're trying to appeal to them and you just post a video online. They'd be like, no. Like, you have to show sincerity by being right there in front of them, physically with them to apologize. And the fact that they're doing it online is a huge indication about how little they care. And the other thing that really stuck out to me was how theatrical it felt. Like the dad was almost giving like a spoken word style speech, which, first of all, why are these parents the ones that are doing this anyways? I mean, yeah, they raised the kids, but it was the kids that did it. It's not like the kids are 5 years old and don't understand what they did. These kids are in middle school. They know right from wrong. They know it's wrong to hurt people. They know it's wrong to attack people and hurt people and like physically injure people. Why is it the parents that are taking on this burden of apologizing when they weren't there? They didn't do it. Their kids did. Like they're at the age where they can get charged as sometimes as an adult, but they can be charged for that crime and end up in juvie. And then also like that kid's response of like, oh, I can't take off the mask. I've been crying. Like, is that supposed to get you sympathy? Excuse me? Like, okay, cool, you've been crying. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you've been crying. Even if you have been crying, you're probably crying because you're getting in trouble. You're not crying because you hurt somebody, because you care about the results of your actions. I was mentioning earlier, like, I was just imagining my husband's response. If our son was doing that and had a mask on his face, or even our daughter, and they had done something like that, and we were trying to get them to apologize online, which again, why would you do that? But if he had that mask on his head, my husband would be like, no, please, I'm trying to make it serious. Please take off your mask. My husband would run upstairs and rip that mask off his head and put his face in the camera and be like, you are going to apologize right now. And the fact that the father took it so unserious that he was just pleading with his kid to take it serious, that is not how you teach a child. All this passive parenting is making our kids think that they can get away with anything, and that all they have to do is put on a good face and just, oh no, please, I didn't mean to. It was just an accident. Please don't get mad at me. Like, these kids are going to have no accountability, as we're seeing. Like, this is only one example of thousands of kids that are being raised to think that they can have people bow at their feet just by showing a little bit of emotion, that they can manipulate people just by acting a certain way. And it's really, really awful to see how these kids are turning out now, how little kids care about how their actions affect other people, and to see the parents also exhibiting the same behavior, supporting that behavior, and not punishing them when they should for something that in the past would have gotten a kid beat. Like, granted, I'm not saying that you should beat your kid and like hurt them badly just to show them like whatever, but you need to use proper punishment on these children for acting the way that they did. And very clearly, they're not being treated like this. They're not being forced to reckon with what they have done, and have not been punished in a way that will make them actually change. This behavior is just going to repeat itself. If you don't ingrain in them what they did was inappropriate, what they did was incorrect, what they did was immoral, they're not going to grow at all. They're just going to know, oh, I can get away with it. I can do this again. And if I just brag a little on myself, or if I just show a little fake emotion, I'll be able to get away with it, not do it again, and not have to get punished for doing it. And it just makes me think of, I watch a lot of like crime videos of people getting arrested, interrogated, stuff like that. And I've been seeing more and more teenagers that are killing their friends or boyfriends or whatever. And they have that smug attitude. They have that, oh, what are you going to do about it? And this is the common thread that I'm seeing within these kids too, where granted, they didn't kill somebody, thank God, but they have that same attitude, that same, well, I'm better than you, so who cares? Who cares that I did this? Who cares that this person did this? I don't care about her. And it's alarming because kids affect other kids. And if you have somebody that's popular, if you have somebody that's on social media that's acting this way, other kids who weren't even taught to be like this are going to think that's okay. They're going to see, oh, well, so-and-so's doing it, so I can. And they'll become more defiant with their own parents because they think that, oh, well, the Miss Popular is acting this way, so I'm going to do that too because I want to be impressive as well. Kids at this age don't understand what is, like, they're more interested in being seen. They don't care about the repercussions of those actions. They just want the perceived benefits of those actions. And if you have children that are displaying awful behavior and are getting slaps on the wrist or even going viral and being popular, other kids are going to have no issues doing the same thing. And be like, oh, cool. If I do XYZ, I can get views on social media and become famous. But they don't care about which type of famous it is. They don't care that they're infamous and that they're really being seen as terrible people because all they see it is, look at that, I have 100,000 views. So this is another example of a much deeper issue of, as you said, parents trying to be their kids' best friend, parents trying to help their kids become famous on social media, regardless of the method that they're promoting, the method that their child took to become famous. They're still going to promote it. And again, it's really disgusting to see this attitude from young kids who have literally physically assaulted a person, to feel smug enough, to feel good enough about yourself, to not care that you're coming off as insensitive and that you aren't giving a proper apology for what you did to the people that you hurt. And especially because I'm fairly certain that kid was a classmate. Like, you're really going to treat somebody you know like that? And his mother? I'm like, when I was a kid, I wouldn't dare to disrespect somebody's mother, let alone somebody's kid. I already had a soft spot for people that were mistreated, but to do that to a parent is just mind-boggling. Like, you really, really have to have a superiority complex to think that as a middle schooler, you can do things to an adult with impunity. It's crazy.
Sins of the father. There's a lot of adults that never escaped high school. They 40, 50, 60 years old, still trying to live like they are in social economics. They're in PE class. Y'all have not grown out of that childlike attitude or pattern. And everything that Sydney said is why we have this clip that I'm about to play here right now. For the fake apologies and the performance pieces that these adults are continuously putting on. Let's give y'all some more to work with.
So that same group of kids that jumped on that mom with sickle cell done jumped on somebody else's child, y'all. They jumped on her child while she was outside rallying for the mom with sickle cell. I cannot make this up, and even if I could make this up, I wouldn't. Now, I can't play the video because the video is too graphic, but I'm going to let y'all hear it in the background. That's all I can think about, too.
But you live in housing, so what is housing doing? You said y'all, they done jumped outside. They have. My door still broke. My window still busted out from them doing these things. The window still gone? Okay, we got to flood housing. Oh, my God. When I say they left him for dead, that's why. They left him for dead. Oh, my God. same one Dwayne they got that they arrested. That's all of them.
They stopping him in his face.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my God! Y'all, these the same kids that just did the shit to the other kids.
Right there. Put them on a t-shirt. That's all I gotta say.
Your daughter is a A and B student, right? Your son sitting up here wearing a mask on social media because he knows that if anybody recognizes his face, unfortunately, the response ain't going to be so pretty. What I don't like about this is that the cycle doesn't seem to stop. It's not slowing down. You see another video with them kids involved in the same activities. Am I missing something? The same kids that assaulted that woman just assaulted another woman's son as they're trying to hold up. Am I like what's going on here? Is that where we at? Y'all don't care no more, huh? You just gave up. Just let them run wild and do what the hell they want. Guarantee most of them run the house. I'm quite certain most of these kids run the house. They tell mom what to do. And if your son can sit there in your face on camera with a mask on and tell you, I'm not taking this off, and you don't do nothing about it, and you're talking about, oh, we need them to take us serious. We need the world to take us serious. You're disrespecting me and your grandparents, and you disrespected them. You failed them. You failed them a long time ago. When that woman said, I sought help, I asked for help, the school did nothing. The teachers did nothing. The parents did nothing. You failed then. Then y'all using Twitter and TikTok to do what? You think that you're growing an audience? You think that's going to drive the algorithm to you? Is this supposed to help your business? Is this supposed to draw more viewership to you? Is this your marketing skill set? Is this how you intend on selling merchandise and content? Is that what I'm gathering from all of this? I've seen 3 different videos. One of them unsincere. There was no apology. This one just shows me that generational curses are real. It just shows me that yet again, we point the finger at everybody else except for ourselves. Somebody failed you when you were growing up, and now you're failing them as they grow up because you didn't know how to correct the issues that were going on with your internal plumbing. Now you're taking it out on the next generation, and they're suffering from it, and they're going to become what Young Dolph was. They're going to become what every other dead rapper is, all because of you. You make us look bad. You make the community look bad. You make parents look bad. You make men and women look bad. The school itself needs to be held 100% accountable. I hope that mom take every single one of them for what she can. Period. How not that long after what happened to that woman, we get another situation with them same kids getting involved with more. All of this for social media. I can't wait to do that other one, the joint on Denmark. Social media has rotten y'all brain, man. Social media has turned kids and adults into zombies, bro. I have no barometer for morality at all. You got to impress everybody. You got to look good for everybody. You got to be cool. You got to be popular. You got to fit in. You got to be this. You got to be that. All for social media. Then these are going to be the same people dead or in jail or pregnant or something because they ain't got no leadership. They ain't got no guidance whatsoever. This is horrible. Absolutely disrespectful as fuck. Do you go to social media once you find out your child is a part of something like this? If you get the phone call, your child beat up, assaulted a pregnant woman, do you go to the internet? I'm old school. The internet wasn't that big of a deal for me when I was younger. You had teacher conferences. You had to go to the school. You had to sit down with principals and teachers and faculty. Parents had to confront the other parents, and you had everybody in the same space. You wasn't setting up Zoom calls and Zoom meetings and all that. Your grandma heard that you was violent or you were disrespectful, or your uncles or whatever, they came to the house. They pulled up. This ain't it. This is a repetitive cycle. Just, I get tired of seeing it. I thought we were done until I saw that on IG, and I'm like, hold up, nah, this can't be them same kids. This got to be a separate situation. Don't make it any better, but this has to be a separate. No, the same ones. And guess what? The people with the cameras and they recording, y'all are just as guilty and you're just as responsible. How? How does it get this bad? How is it that at this juncture, knowing what bullying does, knowing how it affects kids' performance in school, suicide, joining gangs, you name it, there's a long list of effects that this has on children. You think every kid is going to school looking for that type of experience? You would think by now that parents would get a hold of the situation. Y'all know this happens. You went to school before. We've all gone to school before. You know what happens. You would think that we would have better measures in place to ensure that this does not happen so frequent. So what do we do moving forward? How do we attack this? Are you at the mic?
So, just to clarify for myself, that second video was a different incident, or it was a. That's crazy. That just shows that these kids weren't just. It wasn't like, oh, in this moment, they lost their mind. I'm like, this is a habit, and it also makes me think that in the future, these are also going to be the kids that abuse their partners, that abuse their kids, that are taking advantage of systems and, again, cheating to get what they want. This type of behavior is learned, it's ingrained, and it's fostered. Like, you have to allow your child to let it get to this extent. Granted, there are cases where people do stuff out of desperation or out of, like, they might have a personality disorder. But to have this many kids all involved in the same activity, the same abuses of a person, says a lot about who these children are underneath and how they have been trained by their parents and their family members that this type of behavior is totally fine, is okay. And again, this is a huge red flag for their parenting, and there's no way that these kids develop these behaviors in a vacuum. This is 100% how they've been raised, how their behavior has been reflected on by their parents. As you said, I would not be surprised if if the father also acted this way and just never did enough to exemplify positive behavior and to discourage this negative behavior. It's also an indication of what's wrong with the entire system, the school system, the as you also mentioned, the exposure to social media, because they are also idolizing people that exhibit the same type of behavior. The people that they're watching, it'll always astonish me that there are 5-year-olds that listen to what's her face, Megan Thee Stallion and people like that, and they copy them. They act like them. They dress like them. They wear makeup like them. They want to be like them. And at that age, if you want to be somebody, you copy exactly what they do. And so you're going to copy their behavior, their speech patterns, they dress, how they present themselves. And so we're going to have these kids that are dressing as if they're adults, showing off their bodies as if they're adults, getting in relationships as if they're adults, and as we've seen, behaving as if they're adults. And this is the type of behavior that is also being ignored / allowed by their parents, because they don't have to be allowed to listen to that music. They don't have to be allowed to dress that way. They don't have to be allowed to talk back and talk smack like that to their parents. But in a huge way, their parents are allowing it to happen. They might whine about it or like, no, don't do that, don't watch that, but they're also not going to be on top of their kids' behavior and making sure in every single moment that they're following those expectations. There's a lot of parents nowadays that are completely checked out. They're not paying attention. They're on social media themselves. They're more interested in mindlessly scrolling at the end of the day and or even throughout the whole day and not having to lift a finger to do anything. So many people have this mentality of like, kids will raise themselves. And they won't, because when you let kids raise themselves, they're going to absorb whatever they're exposed to. And if you are not taking part in raising them, they're going to essentially be raised by the internet and their friends parents' choices. And if you do nothing, they're never going to understand which of those is the right thing to do. They're not going to have direction. They're not going to have values or morals instilled in them unless they're lucky enough to be surrounded by a bunch of kids that are also moral and respectable, which in this day and age is not the case. Like, I've seen hundreds of videos of teachers talking about the system and what it's like working with kids nowadays. And lots and lots of them have said in the past to be one or two class clowns and the rest were good kids. But nowadays it's mostly class clowns with one or two good kids. And these, like, even teachers don't have control over the classrooms anymore because the parents have checked out. The parents are not participating in the education process. The parents are expecting parents and the internet to raise their children for them. And when you have checked out parents, you have kids that are going to be making questionable decisions. Parents that are not there are more likely to have kids that end up in jail. Parents that are not there are more likely to have kids that end up pregnant at young ages or end up as dads at young ages. Parents that aren't there are more likely to have kids that leave marriages and leave kids behind. They're more likely to have kids that don't have consistent work histories. They're also more likely to have kids that turn to drugs. They're also more likely to have kids that I said jail, that are basically just not successful in general, to be homeless. There's so many repercussions of not parenting your child properly, but people don't take it seriously anymore. And we have a generation of kids that were not taken care of, raising kids that are not being taken care of. And we wonder why the quality of the educational system has fallen apart. We wonder why kids can't do math, can't write, can't think, can't speak, can't do anything, because we have given up on the children themselves. We are so distracted and bored and entitled that we just expect that these kids are going to just magically turn into good kids. But that's not how it happens. Kids learn through absorption. Kids learn through seeing, through doing, through existing with others that are emulating the same behavior. Kids are not minds that are able to understand in the same way that an adult can. Their minds are moldable. They're young and they're vulnerable, and they don't understand yet what is real and what isn't, what's what's not really natural, but like they don't understand what is actually common behavior. Like, they think what they see is the reality. They don't understand that just because you see something doesn't mean it's okay to act that way. It doesn't mean that it's normal for you to be that way. But again, whatever they expose to, they think that's the normality. And if you are not controlling what your child is looking at, listening to, the people they're hanging out with, the way that they're talking, the way that they're acting, they're never going to understand that it's not okay, because they're going to think just because they see it and it exists, that's the way things are. And so a lot of these kids are growing up the way that they are acting like criminals because that's what they're exposed to. They're exposed to TV shows and musicians and singers and actors and actresses and all sorts of people out there that are making it seem fun and popular to be a criminal. We have more people than ever, famous people, that are guilty for all manner of crimes, the whole spectrum. And they're still able to be on TV. They're still able to put out music. They're still able to put themselves out on social media, in and out of jail, and they're still being promoted and promoting themselves. So these kids are not going to learn the difference between right and wrong. They're going to think that that's normal and that's okay, and that's what they can expect to grow up to be. I have a short poem that I thought would I know I've read this one before, but one of the things that you said really made me think of it. And I thought I'd read it really quick. It's one of my shorter ones. But it really exemplifies how the education that we give them, the way that they're treated, will affect their futures. It's called Young and Sweet. And I originally wrote it to speak to the attraction to violence that kids have these days, where it was inspired by this one video of a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old that were holding up police at gunpoint because they had gotten a hold of their parents' weapons, and their parents blamed the kids, saying, "Oh, well, I didn't know that they were going to be able to get into the gun cabinet. I didn't know that they'd be able to even hold the guns. I didn't think it was a big deal, even though they taught their kids how to use them." So I wrote this, and I thought it would be really fitting for this moment, since this is all an example of how kids are learning violence from their parents, either through a lack of being there or through actual modeling and being allowed to model this type of behavior. So this is called Young and Sweet. Little boys play in the streets, running wild, designer sneaks, riding in their fancy Jeeps. Little boys, so young and sweet. Little boys play in the streets, running wild in sneakers cheap, kicking balls in trees they leap. Little boys, so young and sweet. Little boys play in the streets, running fast from the police, pointing guns with dirty glee. Little boys, so young and sweet. If you have some little boys, connect and talk and read and teach. Make sure they know and feel your love, or your boy, so young and sweet, will die upon the street. And it really exemplifies that whole aspect of how you treat your child. The behavior you allow in your child will affect the rest of their lives. If you want your child to end up in the system, keep ignoring them. Keep allowing them to do whatever they want. Keep being your child's best friend. But know that your child's life will be forever affected by the way you treat the behavior you allow to them. And it's disgusting now to see these parents with no accountability using their children for clout on social media for behaviors their child did to somebody else, to hurt other people, to injure a mother, her baby, another classmate, multiple classmates, and to have that smug behavior online, not apologizing, not taking accountability, and sitting there behind the phone being proud of your child for other accomplishments that have nothing to do with the fact that they just assaulted a human being. It's disgusting.
I'm going to close out with this video right here. I told you earlier about a parent who pretty much exemplifies everything that was discussed here, which is one of the problems with these kids today. This right here is why you see what you see. Let me bring this up on the big screen. I'm gonna close out with this clip. I want y'all to listen to this, and I want y'all to listen close. A lot of adults act just like her, and you wonder why the stereotypes exist. You wonder why a lot of us don't get taken serious, and you wonder why we have so much disorder in these neighborhoods and in these schools, and why a lot of our kids fall off, and why a lot of these adults are the way they are. Let me play this, and then I'm gonna leave it be.
So I posted a video with all these middle schoolers jumping on this woman who seemed to be pregnant and her child. And apparently, one of the middle schoolers' mom made a post cussing everybody out in the comment saying it was peer pressure. Let's get into this. So her name is Yaz St. Patrick. She said, let me say this. First, my child is a great ass kid. She's an A and B student. She's the captain of the cheerleading team. She a head of the class and some more shit. I mean, just off the back, we can already tell that we can already see what she getting from y'all. She already coming out here angry, talking crazy to people in the comment section, defending her daughter's action. All good things from every teacher. If you know, you know. We don't owe nobody an apology, but that lady and her kids, or all you grown-ass motherfuckers looking for viral moments, please shut the fuck up, because kids gonna be kids, and it's kids out here that's doing way worse. First of all, kids won't be kids. I have kids. I have a young boy, 16 years old. Not no square either. I'm talking about he hip to the streets. I'm from the streets. He hip to the streets, and he hip to the burbs. He stay flat. He got friends in the streets. He got friends in the suburbs. He's not a square. And guess what? He don't partake in activities like this. So let's get it out the way. Kids not going to be kids. Kids who's raised wrong is going to be that type of kid. Let's keep going. Let alone when y'all was 12 and 13 years old, y'all used to be out here beating crackheads and all. Y'all don't know us at all. She was peer pressured. If you know my family, you know we find a friend in a motherfucker, and we gonna stand behind 100%, no matter what. Blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, I'm not about to read all this. At the end of the day, lady, what you should have did was just came out, apologized, and said, listen, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. There will be repercussions for her actions. And that should have been that. But this long text cussing people out, trying to defend her, trying to say that other kids are just as bad or even worse. I mean, that's not how you handle this situation. You cussing, you have an attitude, you're mad. You're basically proving my point that your child got this from home. Just hold yourself accountable. Just be a grown woman, be in the dark, and just hold yourself accountable and say, you know what? I got to do better with raising my child. A's and B's don't mean shit. Captain of the cheerleading team don't mean nothing. What means something is that she went out there and she went and put her hands on an elder woman, someone who's older than her, who she should have respect for. This is what I mean when I say it starts at home.
And just so y'all know, that post right there is from the same woman that spoke earlier at the beginning, the one that was trying to be all politically correct with her words. So, yeah. Food for thought.
That was horrific. That was honestly, that we should have started with that one. That was the most disgusting response you could possibly give. And I'm still astonished at the fact that she tried to say, oh yeah, we all used to beat up on crackheads. Like, excuse me? I have never beat up a person a day in my life. I don't know a single person that I went to school with in middle school, high school, college that beat up people just for the fun of it. And then to say that you were peer pressured into it. I mean, if your girl is the homecoming queen, is the top of the class, is best, she's probably the one that did the peer pressuring. Like, she's probably the one that had the idea in the first place and was encouraging other people to do it because she has the most sway. That's the most disgusting response somebody could possibly give after your child beat somebody up. What an awful, no wonder why her child has that attitude. That's so disgusting. Oh my God.
Yep. Hold your people accountable stop letting them slide with this stuff, man. It goes for men, women, black, white. If they talk like that, if they act like that, you need to say something. And these teachers in that building, oh yeah. I hope that woman and her a lawyer have a field day with this. I'm glad somebody stepped up and came through for them. God bless their soul. I unfortunately I don't really believe that. I'd say maybe one or two of them parents might do something. The rest of them, I don't really see nothing really happening. But I appreciate.
I was gonna say it's the parents that don't post it on social media that are the ones that are actually teaching their kids what's not right. All the ones that put their stuff online, they aren't doing anything. I really hope that I really hope all of them are charged, kids and adults alike, because that is reprehensible. I see why you're so angered by this. I mean, not to mention, I have not seen the full video yet, but this type of shit boils my blood. Like, to defend your child's behavior to that extent that you're insulting the people that are helping them, insulting the woman who was attacked. Victim blaming is one of the most infuriating things you could possibly do, especially when it was your child that did it in the first place. I'm so glad I don't know her.
Yeah. Whoever her friends are, they ain't your friends. And whoever's associated with you through blood, they ain't do you no justice either. I appreciate you for pulling up this morning for this one. Had to spin back on it. I'll see you guys later on. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I left the QR up there, so if you want to follow her, you can. All you gotta do is scan it, and it's quick. But yeah, we out. Y'all have a blessed one.
Have a good day, guys. See you Friday.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter